Today, how much is my slab collection worth? Part 5, the money round. Stick around.
DJ Links is in the building.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy DJ Links, back in the building, back in effect,
Links.
and back with another video. And today, how much is my slab collection worth? Part 5, the money round. I'm excited to show you this. This is probably going to be the highest value comic books in my collection. Decided to do it in the middle of this journey in showing you how much my slab collection is worth, and we're just going to get right into it. Now, I don't have the totals written down yet. I'm going to put the values during post-production. You'll see it then, but I'm not going to tell you this is valued at blah blah, but I'm super excited. I'm gonna kind of learn along with you because I'm gonna tell you first and then I'll find out doing post-production. So let's kick it off. I'll tell you the stories behind this one. This book, Iron Man #1 from May 1968. Story continued from Iron Man and Submariner #1, origin of Iron Man retold in a CGC 5.0 white pages. Actually, not white pages, off-white, the white pages. I picked this up at the 3 Men in the Basement comic swap from Comic CT. So big shout out to Comic CT. Check him out on Instagram. Picked this up from him. I was leaving that day and I was just like, I need something. So I traded him an Ultimate Fallout 4 in a 9.6. So I got this and I was trying to pick up at the time all the premiere issues of the Marvel characters. Like in 68, they had this big boom. So you had Tales to Astonish turning into Incredible Hulk. Captain America got his own solo series. Iron Man with his own solo series, as well as Submariner, Silver Surfer, a bunch of solo series happening during 1968-69. So I definitely wanted to add this to the PC. Moving right along, and this right here is one of my favorite books ever, another Iron Man book. So this is Iron Man 55 from 1973, February 73 to be exact, in a CGC 9.4 white pages. This is the first appearance of Thanos, Drax, Star Fox, the Blood Brothers. Anybody else? Mentor, I forgot Mentor, my bad Mentor. Kronos, also forgot Kronos. Yo, I'm sorry Kronos, don't hold it against me. Jim Starlin, Mike Frederick story, Jim Starlin, Mike Esposito art, Jim Starlin and Joe Sinnott cover. What's amazing about this, triple signed, right? So not only do we have a signature by Joe Sinnott, we also have a sketch, dope ass Iron Man head sketch, also signed by Jim Starlin and the late great Stan Lee. I'm curious to see what the value on this is, but this is one of my favorite books of all time. I wish Thanos had a bigger presence on the cover, but then again, Thanos at the time when this book dropped, he was like a scrawny little puny like nothing, and then he hit the gym and bulked up and got his creatine in, and then he was super swole, but super dope. Iron Man 55 in a 9.4. Next up, we have Amazing Spider-Man 300 from May of 1988. 88 was a very good year. Eric B. and Rakim dropped Paid in Full, and Slick Rick dropped The Great Adventures of Slick Rick. That has nothing to do with nothing, but I just wanted to say that 88 was a great year. This is in a 9.6 white pages. Of course, the first appearance of Venom. Venom. I hate that Eminem song, by the way. Origin and first full appearance of Venom, Eddie Brock thing appearance, last black costume. This is absolutely fantastic. The funny story about this, when I got back into comics, so before I started getting floppies, before even the YouTube channel, I got some slabs in the collection, right? So I got slabs as a gift, as a Christmas gift. And once I got those slabs, I got a fever for more slabs. And this was one of the slabs that I wanted to get right away. This was before any talk of a Venom movie or anything like that. I wanted to get this because Venom has always been one of my favorite characters ever since I was a wee lad. Always loved Venom, and I picked this up along with another big book in the same day, one that's in this pile, and I'm super happy to have this in the collection. Amazing Spider-Man #300, iconic cover, iconic book, iconic first appearance. Next up, and this book has a funny story behind it. I remember I was renovating our basement. Shout out to my boy Jose. We were renovating the basement downstairs, and it was like on day 2. I was just like, you know what? After we do the whole basement, I'm gonna get this book as kind of like a reward for doing this basement. That was day 2. On day 3, I was just like, you know what? If I get this book now, then I'll be forced to finish the basement even sooner. And I'm talking about Amazing Spider-Man #129 from 1974. 74 was a great year for Marvel characters, by the way. This is in a CGC 5.0 white pages. First appearance of the Punisher and the Jackal. Shout out to the Jackal. Jackal doesn't get enough respect because Punisher just eclipsed him. Classic first appearance, classic cover. Now, I always say when it's a first appearance and the character is on the cover doing something dope, that's even more better than just a random first appearance in the back page or something like that. Jerry Conway story, Ross Adrew, Frank Giacoia, and Dave Hunt art, Gil Kane and John Romita cover, RIP John Romita Sr. First appearance of the Punisher, Frank Castle, and the Jackal. This is one of my favorite books. This is absolute classic material right here. The next book we have here, I actually got at C2E2 a couple of years ago. It was at C2E2 when a bunch of people from the comic community met up, went all the way to Chicago, and we chilled. Got this on the last day. I was in the booth. It was me, Mrs. Links, Chip Gatler, Nick's Kicks and Comics, Remy Q. We were all in the booth, and then I was just like, yo, let me get this. Mrs. Links actually was just like, yo, let me get this for you for your birthday, because, you know, I have my eye on it. This is Avengers number 8 from 1964. First appearance of Kang the Conqueror. This is in a CGC 5.5. White pages. Now, first appearance of Kang, classic cover. Kang has always been one of my favorite characters, and I've always been like alone on that hill. This is before any movie stuff. I've always loved Kang. I thought he was dope. I always gravitate toward the bad guys, and Kang was no exception. This is in a 5.5. Stan Lee's story, Jack Kirby and Dick Ayers cover and art. I'm curious to see the value on this book only because I know what I paid for it. Oh, and Mrs. Links paid for it at the time, and I know the value nosedive on this bad boy, especially with Kang getting a lukewarm reception in the MCU and stuff like that, but I love this book. Next up, this is another big boy book in the collection. For me, this is probably top 5 comic book covers of all time. It's just classic. When you see it, you know what it is, and I'm talking about Avengers number 4 from 1964, March of 1964, CGC 8.5, off white pages. Classic cover. I absolutely love this cover. Cap with the see-through shield, right, that you could see right through it, similar to how the shield was on the TV series. This is a absolute stunning cover. Like I said, one of my favorite covers of all time, and I think one of the greatest comic book covers in history. This is the first Silver Age appearance of Captain America, Steve Rogers, and a Submariner appearance. Stan Lee's story, Jack Kirby and George Russo's cover and art. Absolutely fantastic. Captain America was my dude back in the day. I want to say, like, in my pre-teens and stuff like that, I gravitated toward the violent characters, the characters that were like, ugh. But when I, you know, was a wee lad and got into the comic books, Captain America was my jam, just like Hulk Hogan was my favorite wrestler. I was a goody two-shoes until I got corrupted. The next book we have here, another fantastic first appearance, another pinnacle, pillar, highlight of my collection. This is Avengers number 1 from 1963. Off-white to white pages in a CGC 6.5. This thing presents beautifully. And of course, this is the first appearance of the Avengers, all the heroes as a collective. This is absolutely fantastic. Yeah, big shout out to Mrs. Links again. A couple of years ago, Christmas, she got this for me and I was mind blown. I am definitely a lucky cat. Origin and first appearance of the Avengers, Fantastic Four, Loki and Team Brigade appearance, Stan Lee's story, Jack Kirby, Dick Ayers cover and art. This is absolutely fantastic. It's one of these books that I thought I would never ever own ever in my life, and to sit here talking to you through YouTube, through these cameras, and telling you that I have this in the collection, I'm mind blown by this. Like I said, one of the pillars of my collection. I mentioned the 3 Men in a Basement comic book swap earlier on. This I actually got at another 3 Men in a Basement comic book swap, and I picked this up from my guy X-Illusionary. Shout out to X-Illusionary on Instagram. Picked this up from him, and this is Incredible Hulk number 180 from 1974 in a CGC 7.0 off white pages. First appearance of Wolverine, or cameo of Wolverine. This is dope because it is a Mark Jewelers exclusive. Mark Jewelers insert. It's funny, it says Mark Jewelers insert ... Like, what's the ... I don't know. First appearance of Wolverine in cameo. I don't do cameos. I don't like cameos, man. But an appearance is an appearance. Did he appear in the book? Yes. So that's an appearance, not a cameo. appearance, first appearance. And then if you look at the back of the Marvel 1990 cards, 1991 cards, first full appearance of Wolverine, Incredible Hulk 180. This is dope because I was able to pick it up from a fellow community member, and that's what kind of sparked our friendship. Got nothing but love for X-Illusionary, one of the dopest cats in the game, and he gave me a good deal on this. Len Wein story, Herb Trimpe and Jack Abel art, Herb Trimpe cover. Big shout out to Herb Trimpe. And of course, you can't have the 180 without the 181. So this is Incredible Hulk 181 from 1974. That's why I said Marvel had a great year in 74, debuting the Punisher and Wolverine. And this is in a CGC 6.0 cream to off-white pages. And this is dubbed the first full appearance of the Wolverine and a Wendigo appearance. Big shout out to Wendigo. Wendigo doesn't get enough props, but you know, as an Incredible Hulk guy, I'm always gonna say the Incredible Hulk villains don't get enough props, but Wendigo is one of those. This was another book that when I got this, I'm like, oh shit, I can't believe I actually own this. Len Wein story, Herb Trimpe and Jack Abel art, Herb Trimpe cover. I got this the same day I got that amazing Spider-Man 300, both already slabbed. I picked this up from the same vendor. I was just like, yo, let me see that, boom, and then I bought both of them because I had the Slab fever at the time. This is another book that I can't believe I have in the collection. And speaking of books I can't believe I have in the collection, this was on my list forever, but we realized the dream in 2023, and I'm talking about the Incredible Hulk #1, first appearance of the Incredible Hulk from May of 1962. This is in a 3.0 white pages from 1962, which is insane. I don't know what to tell you. This is literally a dream come true for me. Origin and first appearance of the Incredible Hulk, first appearance of Rick Jones, Betty Ross, and General Ross. Legit, I can't believe I'm holding this right now and telling you the value of it and stuff like that. I got this earlier in the year, and I waited until this room was complete so that this could be the first video that I shot in this room. A couple of people knew about this. I told my Illuminati brothers on In the Mix backstage that I had picked this up, and they were like, dude, you gotta film a video. And I was like, nah, I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna wait till the room is done, and this is gonna be my first video. And lo and behold, it was my first video. Before I even put the table in here or anything, I was just like, you know what, let me film this. So I was super happy about that. This is literally my grail of all grails. In the 3.0, you can't go wrong. This is what sparked my quest to get all the original Incredible Hulk 6 in 3.0s, and we accomplished that goal earlier this year. Stanley story, Jack Kirby and Paul Ryman art, Jack Kirby and George Russo's cover, Incredible Hulk #1, y'all. And that's it for How Much Is My Slab Collection Worth Part 5, the money round. I dubbed it the money round because I know these 10 books are gonna come in at a crazy value. I'm just curious to see what the value is, because some of them, I know what I paid for it, and the market took a nosedive, and a lot of these books you could get for relatively cheap in comparison to what was paid for them originally. So with all that said, how much are these 10 slabs worth? And that's gonna do it for me, ladies and gentlemen. As always, subscribe, like, hit that notification bell, share this video, tell your friends about me, consider joining the Link Squad, and as always, most importantly, spread love, because it's the Brooklyn way. Peace.